welcome back to another video here, guys. As I say, we're moving on at what seems quite a quick rate. You definitely, when it comes to pigeon racing, certainly waste your life away. You're just waiting for the next basket at night for another race day. But this week we've just been currently working through the race shed, the old bird race shed. Again, when you spend a lot of time focusing on your race team, we tend to try our best in the upkeep of everything else. So we're currently doing the same as what we've done with the stock shed, just going in, lifting the floors up, cleaning underneath the floors, and cleaning out the boxes. With having so many birds or a big shed, there's a couple of things that is real handy to have, and I'll just show you now. One of them being this Titan, I don't even know the model number, but it's a Titan sort of industrial hoover. This hoover was bought in Screwfix, I think. Basically bought it there last December, and it definitely is a great bit of kit when it comes to cleaning out. You get the bloom dust, you get obviously the feathers when it comes to the molt, and it certainly helps getting into areas that you would maybe struggle with. So we basically use it in the boxes and on the floor. The next thing would be the gas burner. This is a wee flow gas, and we use this basically every so often when we clean out, especially to get into them sort of harder parts. If you've got a closed roof, or maybe certain areas that is hard to reach, the gas bottle certainly comes in handy. It's a great way to literally burn the shed out. From obviously, you burn the shed, you're less risk of cocci, the cocci eggs surviving. So we would use it. Then again, the race shed would get it more often. But basically, it's always handy to have when you do a sort of big clean out, that you can use that. And next is the fogger or the pump spray. I mean, it's nice for us to have the choice here of what we can use. The fogger is definitely something, again, getting into nooks and crannies because of the small water droplets. We'll get into nooks and crannies, probably the exact same as a spray bottle. So you don't have to go out of your way to purchase something like this, but it definitely comes in handy when cleaning out or disinfecting. I mean, we normally in our disinfectants would use the mixture between that Phobocaps that we've been using. It just helps with the fly issue, or if we're going for a full disinfectant, it would be Virkon S is obviously sort of world renowned when it comes to pigeon loft disinfectant. So yeah, we would use that too. But as I say, we are currently just working through the race team loft. It does take up a bit of time, especially when you get a wee bit of OCD with it. You want to take everything out and clean everything down, scrape it all out, and then use the hoover, burn it out, and you're disinfecting. So, just moving on from last week, and we talk about the essentials that we feel is a must when it comes to pigeons. I know everybody has their own methods and ways of doing things, as I said in the previous video, but this is just some things we choose to do on the basis of keeping the pigeon's health optimal as best as we can through natural based products, and products that are designed to keep health at an optimal level. I'm just going to take you through what we do here. As you see, we have a multitude of grit minerals, and I think they are somewhat a cornerstone to pigeon's health, especially the grit aspect. You look into grit and you see what grit actually does, how it seeps into the gizzard of the pigeon and actually helps benefit the digestion process and helps grind food that is processed through. So basically what we do throughout the week, we have a mixed element of grit here. Our first sort of choice. Now all grits, they do differ slightly, but the mass majority is the same in terms of your mixed grit. We normally go with naturals mixed grit, or again, depends what's there when we go to purchase some. I mean, if it's not natural based and it's some other company like Roscrea for talk's sake, we normally buy what's available. The natural product, as you can see, isn't too bad. It isn't as rough, but there's that. The next thing is just plain old redstone. Again, there is redstone within the high calcium grit and aniseed mixture. We all know, obviously, aniseed is a big thing for pigeons. They seem to love it. But this redstone we buy separately. We find the pigeons choose to eat more of it, especially in the racing season. What that reason is, we're unsure, but as you can see, apparently it's baked at a very high temperature and it's made out of clay, and there's a lot of minerals and vitamins sort of stored within it. So next thing would be your standard sort of pick blocks. Again, we just sort of tend to choose what is there available at the point of purchasing when we need it. This is From Roscrea's ideal block, and this actually has turmeric in it. This and naturals ideal block, again, just what is there when we're purchasing when we need it. And then we have just these gully pots full of the same sort of grit and minerals. This is actually from Planoma, and again, it's packed with minerals, grit. It has, I think there's some small seed within it too, so pigeons thoroughly enjoy it. Belvin, a really good mineral. Pigeons really seem to enjoy it, but there's so much minerals in it. The list is endless when it comes to minerals. So we use this a lot. As you can see, we use this quarter spoon, usually when we're mixing. But we find that this is probably one of the best on the market because of the complexity in its needs. It has quite a range of minerals, vitamins in it. So we've chose to stay with this for the meantime. Pigeons seem to enjoy it, so that's the main thing. And the last thing is the Kilpatrick's black mineral. Black mineral is something probably used more within the breeding season. Obviously it helps, you know, if some runny droppings round the bowl, put a gully pot of this in with your stock pigeons, and after a few days you should see it turn around in droppings. But we use it for a race team as well, so they get it all year round. But I'm just going to show you what we do on a weekly basis. We have just a normal bigger bucket, and what we tend to do is we tend to mix all these together, and I'll just give you a bit of a demonstration on how we mix them and what way we go about. So first we take the grit and high aniseed mixture, and you're just going to do 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 of the high calcium aniseed grit mix. And then normally what we tend to do is just use 1 full container of your redstone and mix that in. An ideal block, and we just use the 1. See if I can get it open. There we go. And just basically break that up in the mixture. They're normally quite soft because it's just clay based, so they break quite easy. Your pick pot, and just a full one of them in. And then you are going to just add your pink mineral. Normally this stuff goes a long way, so just one of them, and then it goes. So as you can see, that's everything sort of just put in, and all you're going to do is just use your hands, break everything up, like so. Sometimes the black will clump, and just mix that with your hands, or give it as you can see, there's plenty. That mineral powder definitely goes a long way. So that's it, all mixed together. Basically that's your mix made. Again, you can mix double up. Instead of the 3, put 6 and 2 in to make a bigger batch, depending on obviously how many pigeons you have. This basically gets fed to everyone, every pigeon in this loft. Normally it's just grit pots, grit bowls, and they're there 24/7. The thing with what I didn't mix within it was this black anodized, because it's more of a salt-based product. You'll find that if you mixed it in, there'll be a lot of moisture in there, so we just put this in a gully pot on its own. To say, whatever works for you. This is something that we have done well, especially Dad has done for years. They do get a good range of minerals and grit and vitamins within this, and it's in front of them 24/7, should I say. They never go without, and you know, I think it's definitely something that if you incorporate into your plan on a you know, it doesn't have to be every day, it can be every other day that you're putting a new batch in, and they will certainly benefit your pigeons. That's another wee tip from here. Hopefully this helps. If you're a new starter, be sure to comment. If you're unsure where to get these products or where to look for them, I can try and help you out. If there's anything maybe you have tried that you think works better, please let me know also in the comments. As I say, every day is a learning day when it comes to pigeons, and some things, because we do it different, doesn't always mean that it's the right or wrong way, and it's the same for other people, but it's also nice to hear people's ideas and theories around things. We are hoping to have a basketing night tomorrow. Fingers crossed. The weather again, it's good all week. I mean, you look at it now, the sun's splitting the trees. It's beautiful out here, but come the weekend, you're sort of, are we looking at gaps? Are we going to get rain in the morning, better in the afternoon, vice versa? This season has just been a disaster for weather when it comes to race and racing. But you know, as I say, we've had a good week this week. I always like to touch wood because every day is just a new day when it comes to pigeons, and you never know what you're walking into. But they've flew well, they've trained well, so we just have them prepped now for a race out of Roscrea. So we'll see how we go. They're just another tip that we do on a weekly basis. I think we find it vitally important in terms of the grit and minerals, just especially now over the years of the way corn and stuff is manufactured and the way it's grown and harvest. I think with fertilising issues and sort of all that side of it, the nutrition value sort of comes out of it a bit now when it comes to the corn. So anything that's not in the corn will certainly be met with all the grit and minerals then throughout the week. So that's just something we do on a weekly basis. But here we are, we're race day again. It's Saturday the 19th. We're down in Roscrea, which is 140 miles from us, and again, just Mother Nature and all its wonders and what it throws against you. We didn't have a lib there till 12:30, just due to the weather. The real strong southwest wind today with gusts of like 50-60 miles an hour. So probably a bit like last week, very fast race. So we're just going to get sorted here and stick around for some trapping. So that's us, folks. Race 5 done for us. I do apologise with the video there. We had a camera out and a dose of rain came and basically was trying to scramble to save the other camera, and for some reason it just cut the audio out. I don't know what the crack is with it, but we left it out to dry there overnight, and I'm hoping this is working as I'm recording because it's the same camera. But my apologies for that. So race 5 done and dusted. As you can see, we had a good race. Again, it just comes down to trapping. Well done to Jordy and Rob. Good wee pigeon that. As I say, look at the velocities there. I think it was like 3 yards if even. So it definitely came down to having a good trap that day. Pigeons came, and by them velocities, I mean, I think pigeons are doing 76, 78 mile an hour. The winning pigeons are in the open were doing like 81 mile an hour. So it certainly was a day for breaks. Pigeons sort of flying around. You can't really afford to have pigeons flying around, really. We sent 79 pigeons, and we have 77 back. So we dropped 2 over that weekend. Maybe with them strong winds just get carried on. You know, as I say, pigeons have to orientate pretty quick in these races, and if they don't and they just go with the flow, you know, God knows where they will end up. I remember a race my dad told me about where I think it was out of Fermoy, and it was a young bird race, real strong south wind, and that night he had a phone call from Scotland saying that a young bird had landed from that race that day into Fallow. So it just goes to show you get the wind the right way, and you know, before you know it, your pigeons are in Scotland, which is not ideal and not what we want. Obviously, congratulations to the Gordons, outstanding performance from them. So congratulations to them. But I'm just hoping now, looking ahead, you know, we'll stick to our routine and we'll not change too much. I mean, birds health wise are great. Everything seems to be going well, and we can't complain. Obviously, minor adjustments now, looking at the week ahead. It's one of them things with pigeon racing. You can't dictate the weather, and the weather will do what it does on the day, and you have to prep for that. And you know, like us all, we can get it wrong. But it's always a learning curve too. Something I love about it. Every week's very different. Every day is a learning day when it comes to pigeons. So I am certainly enjoying myself. I love it. We're currently trying to work at setting a new aviary and building a new aviary. I'll show you a bit of an update in the next video here if you stick around. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell. You'll be notified of every new video that's released. Normally we're on 1 a week at the minute, just with racing. So please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a race. But we're currently working at a new aviary here for old birds. But again, I'll just update you on the next video here. So guys, have a great week, and hopefully the weather turns with us as well, gives us a bit of sunshine, good weather for a change, and all the best in your racing and your training leading up to your races. So catch us next week, guys. Take care, all the best.